Hi, you guys. So today's topic was inspired by a few comments I've seen recently on older videos about how when people go silent on you, ghost you, how that makes you feel. And I also see certain videos where people try to manifest the person back somehow for whatever reason. I'm finding through growing up and learning and just studying and reading, the distance can actually work for you. I have some notes and I kind of crammed everything together. So hopefully, if you are currently in a position right now where you went silent on someone or someone went silent on you for whatever the reason, this video is definitely going to be for you. And hopefully you can shift your perspective a bit. And hopefully this gives you a bit more clarity of what you can do instead of constantly wondering what they're doing, where they are, who they're with, what's going on. Use that time to go inward. So let's get into it. When someone distances themselves or ignores you, it feels personal. It's like a slap in the face, rejection that stings deeper than words could ever express. And I used to look at it just like that until I shifted my perspective a bit. Distance is more than what it appears on the surface. It's a mirror reflecting your inner strength, your emotional resilience, and your ability to stay grounded in the face of uncertainty. So, in the face of heartbreak and hurt feelings, this is your test. It's a test of who you are when you're no longer the center of their attention. Will you crumble or will you rise above it? In these moments, the choice is yours. You can choose to take it personally, to let the silence fill you with self doubt and insecurities, or you can see it for what it truly is, an opportunity. An opportunity to lean into your own strength, to listen to your intuition, and to find that voice within you. Their silence is your signal. It's a time to reflect, refocus, and reclaim your power. Distance often feels like a punishment, but what if I told you it could be a blessing in disguise? When someone pulls away, it creates space for you to see things clearly, to assess the situation without the cloud of their influence. This is your chance to grow, to learn, to build yourself up, and to become someone who doesn't need the validation of another to feel whole. The silence is like your canvas. You paint it with your strength, not with your sorrow. I've learned that silence is powerful. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also transformative. When they ignore you, it feels like a rejection, but it's not about their absence. It's about your reaction. It's easy to let their silence consume you, to fill that void with assumptions and insecurities. But this is the moment to practice self control, to pause before you react impulsively, because in silence, there's clarity. Think of silence as a space where you can finally hear your own thoughts without the noise of their presence. It's a chance to reflect on your needs and your boundaries and your desires. You get to ask yourself, is this silence a reflection of their inability to communicate with me, or is it a gift? Giving you time to reconsider what you truly want. Don't rush to fill the silence with apologies and explanations. Let it breathe and let it work for you. Many times we want to break the silence. I've wanted to just reach out and to make things right. But sometimes the best response is no response. When you choose not to react, you show yourself and them that you're unbothered, that your peace isn't up for negotiation. In this quiet space, you reclaim your power and you show that you're strong enough to handle silence without losing yourself. Remember, their distance isn't a reflection of your own worth. It's often a reflection of their own battles, their own confusion, and the things that they haven't quite figured out. So when they pull away, it's not your job to then try to fix them. It's not your responsibility to chase after them, to validate their uncertainty. Instead, focus on your response because that's where your power lies. Your response sets the tone. Will you respond with desperation, trying to pull them back into your space? Or will you respond with grace, giving them the space they're asking for while holding on to your self respect? You have to understand that desperation pushes them further away. But grace makes them wonder what they've lost. It shows them that you're not someone who's easily shaken. It's in that time of quiet and calm that you get to have a collected response, that you find your true strength. And you're proving to yourself that you don't need their approval to feel whole. You don't need to cling to someone who isn't sure about you. Instead, You choose yourself. And that's a choice that will always lead you to better things. Your peace, your self worth, and your happiness aren't dependent on someone who can't make up their mind. If they've chosen to distance themselves, let them go. Don't chase after something that's slipping away, because what's truly meant for you will stay. We often get caught up in trying to hold on to people who were never ours to keep, but chasing after them only prolongs the inevitable and drains you of the energy you could be using to build your own life. Chasing is a sign of fear. Fear that you'll miss out on something great. Fear that you're not enough without them. But the truth is, what's meant for you won't need to be chased. It will naturally gravitate toward you because it's aligned with your path. When you let go of the chase, you create space for what's real, for what's solid, for what's lasting, for what's yours. You show God that you trust in His timing and that you're open to receiving what's truly yours. Remember, it's not about who can hold on the longest. It's about who's willing to walk away when they realize that they deserve better. Let them see your strength in your decision to stop chasing, to let go, and to move forward with your head held high, because the right person won't need you to chase them. They'll meet you where you are. They'll be ready and they are willing to walk beside you. Manipulation often hides in the form of distance. They'll pull away to see if you'll chase and if you'll break down and beg for their attention. It's a tactic, an ego boost, a game to see how much power they have over you. But I need you to understand something. You're worth more than the games. You're above the test and the tactics. Your peace is non-negotiable, and it's time you show that to yourself. Instead of playing into their hands, rise above it. Let them see that their distance doesn't rattle you, that you're not going to be the one who bends, who folds, or who compromises your worth for their approval. In fact, let their games be a reminder of how far you've come, of how you've learned to see through the manipulation and keep your focus on your own growth. When you rise above the games, you show them that you're not here to play. You're here for something real, something authentic. And if they can't match that energy, then their distance is actually doing you a favor. It's clearing the way for someone who can. So let their silence speak and let your peace be the answer. After they distance themselves, it's all about your state of mind. It's the way you choose to look at the situation. You can let your emotions take control. You can give into the sadness and the tears and the doubts and the thoughts that make you feel unworthy. Or you can use it. Use that distance to your advantage. Let it be a reminder to prioritize yourself, to focus on your own growth, and to elevate your life to a level that makes you proud. This is your time to take back your power. Instead of asking why they pulled away, ask yourself, how can you use this time to become the best version of you? Every moment of silence from them is a moment you can use to work on your goals, to pour into your passions, and to invest in your own happiness. This is your time to level up, not to break down. It's a choice, one that only you can make. Will you let their absence define your worth, or will you redefine your life in their absence? The decision is yours, and it's one that will shape the course of your future, especially in relationships. So when you're choosing wisely, you choose to have peace. One of the most powerful things you can do when they distance themselves is to allow them to miss you. I had to learn this the hard way. We often rush in trying to fix things and to bridge the gap, but sometimes the best move is to do nothing at all. Let them feel the absence of your energy, your presence, and your love. It's in the silence that they begin to realize what they lost. When you pull back, you give them the space to reflect, to notice the difference between having you in their life and not. It's human nature to take things for granted. We've all done it before, when they're always there. But when you step back and when you choose to focus on yourself instead of chasing after them, it creates a void. And that void could actually be very, very powerful. It's a reminder that your presence was a gift, not a given. This isn't about playing games. It's about valuing yourself enough to know that you don't need to overextend just to keep someone in your life. Let them experience life without you for a while. If they care, they'll come back. And if they don't, then you have your answer. Either way, you win, because you're not forcing something that's not meant to be. When someone distances themselves, it's easy to focus all your energy on them. And you replay the last conversations, the last text messages, and you're analyzing every word and every action. But what if you took all that energy and you redirected that back into yourself? What if you decided that instead of obsessing over what they're thinking and what they're doing, you're going to invest that energy back into your own growth? Reclaiming your energy means taking back that control, your thoughts, your time, and your emotions. It's recognizing that your peace is more important than trying to figure out someone who's made a choice to step back. This is your time to refocus, to pour your energy into your goals and your passion and the things that make you feel like you're living life with a purpose. Think about how powerful that could be if you stopped worrying about them and started focusing on you. Imagine what you could do, what you could achieve if you took all that time you spent on overthinking and you used it to build the life that you've always wanted. The best revenge isn't chasing them, it's glowing up without them. When someone ignores you, it can feel like they have all the control. They decide when to respond and when to engage, and you're left waiting and hoping for a sign of interest. But here's the truth. Their silence only controls you if you let it. The power isn't in their hands, it's actually in yours. The illusion of control is powerful, but it's just that, it's an illusion. The moment you realize that you don't have to wait for their validation, the moment you stop letting their behavior dictate your mood, you take back your power. You're not a puppet to their whims. You're the creator of your own happiness. Instead of waiting for them and when they're going to decide what's going on, decide your worth. Decide that for yourself. Step into your own power and remember that you have the choice to walk away, to move on, and to focus on things that bring you joy. You're in control of your response, your emotions, and your destiny. Their silence has nothing on your strength. Distance can often reveal more than words ever could. When someone pulls away without explanation, it's easy to blame yourself and to wonder what you did wrong. We as ladies, we do this all the time, but sometimes their silence is the red flag. It's their way of testing boundaries and of seeing how much you'll tolerate from them without them having to communicate with you. Pay attention to the patterns. Do they pull away when you start asking for more? Do they go silent when you bring up commitment or you're expressing your needs? These are signs of emotional manipulation, signs that they're not willing to give you the clarity and the honesty you deserve. So don't ignore the silence. It's actually speaking volumes. Instead of chasing after them for answers, trust what the silence is telling you. Trust your gut instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. You don't have to wait for any concrete evidence to know that their actions aren't aligning with their words. Your intuition is enough. Believe it. And don't be afraid to walk away from someone who communicates through distance instead of honesty. Just as their silence can be telling, so can yours. There's a strength in choosing not to react and letting them wonder instead of giving them the satisfaction of a response. When you decide to go quiet, to pull back, and to focus on yourself, you're sending a message. You're saying, I'm not going to chase after someone who isn't sure about me. Your silence isn't weakness. It's a power move. It's showing them that you're secure enough in who you are to not need constant reassurance. It's demonstrating that you're not afraid to be alone, that you're comfortable in your own company. That kind of confidence is rare and it's magnetic. It draws in the right people and it repels the wrong ones. Let them feel your absence. Let them sit with their own thoughts, their own decisions, without you filling in the silence. In the quiet, you're reclaiming your narrative. You're showing them that you're not an option to be picked and put down at their convenience. Your time, your attention, and your love, they're valuable, and you're no longer giving that away for free.